Geekdom Movies, everyone. I'm Shannon, that's George in the back, and this is Fahad.
Hey guys.
We are Geekdom Movies, and we just walked out of Pixar's Onward, which is the newest Pixar movie. We all liked it a lot. We're going to let George take the lead on this one.
I don't know about that.
Really?
You didn't like it a lot.
Well, we're going to have an interesting review then.
There's a reason I didn't share my review.
Okay, interesting. Usually by the time we get to the parking lot, I know what Fahad thinks of a movie, so this is going to be fun.
Yeah, or maybe I'm just like trolling you guys. Maybe I did.
Okay,
Trolling. Oh my goodness.
You never know. Just kidding. No. Anyways, we should. So George, are you going first?
We're going to hand this one off to George to start, and he'll explain why.
All right. So for me, this movie was extremely personal because the main character grew up without a dad, and that was kind of how I grew up. Mm-hmm. My dad died when I was like a year old, so I don't have any memories of him. Yeah. And there was we can't do spoilers yet, can we?
Probably shouldn't.
No. Okay. So let's just say he's trying. This was in the trailer. You can talk about the
trailer. I think that's trailer is free game, because if you haven't seen the trailer for this movie, you're either living under a rock or you just don't care.
I mean, people were living under rocks in this. So
yeah, you're not wrong.
So in the trailer, it shows that he's over there. He's trying to find a way to spend a day with his dad, and using magic. And so, like, he's on a quest, essentially, for that. And, like, this movie, I related a lot to that because, like, me with my brothers, they helped me growing up. They really were that father figure for me.
Yeah, they are.
And, my mom with everything that she did for me, like, it just, this movie touched me really deeply. And I did cry during this movie.
I mean, if it's most Pixar movies, I think their goal is to make you cry.
That's their goal.
Yeah.
So sometimes it hits you.
They succeeded.
Yeah.
They succeeded, and I don't think I've cried in any of the other Pixar movies so far.
Really?
Up!
Inside Out?
Up?
No, I didn't cry for that.
What?
Toy Story?
I might have felt a little emotional during Inside Out. I can't remember for sure, but I don't think I've cried for any of them so far.
Okay.
But this one, it was just because it was so personal for me. Like, it really hit me hard.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on it?
So I'll throw it to Shannon next. So, high recommendation, Golden Popcorn?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I'm a huge Pixar stan. Like, I love all the Pixar films except for maybe Brave. I
like Brave.
It's
a cute movie.
I like the Princess Merida, but the little bears drove me crazy. So, I like almost all of the Pixar films except maybe like Monsters University or like
for me,
Cars.
It's Cars. Yeah,
Cars, whatever. That. But 9 out of 10 times their movies are great, and this one was no exception. I wasn't sure when I walked into it if it was going to be good. I knew it got good reviews. It has 80% or more on Rotten Tomatoes.
I don't know where it's at right now.
Or when he looked last, it was 80% on Rotten Tomatoes, so that's always a good sign. Pixar's kind of been, the last couple of years, they've kind of been finding their ground again, because when they had Brave come out and they were trying to be more, Disney princess stuff, and they had lost their footing for a while. But this movie, I think they're back at what they used to be. It is a buddy film, like a buddy adventure film, which is what most Pixar movies are. It's like two friends that don't like each other at first, and then they learn to like each other on the way. But this one has a really unique message that I've never seen in a kid's film before. I've never seen it in any movie before.
That they were brothers?
No. I won't give it away here, but it has a message that I've never seen in any kid's movie before, which is, Pixar makes movies for adults.
Is it a spoiler? I don't know what you're thinking.
It's not a spoiler. It's just the message of the film.
Oh, I don't know what
spoiler,
you're going to say.
I'm not going to say anything.
Okay.
I'm just going to say this. The message of this movie and the moral of the story that you take away from it is not something that I've seen in a children's movie ever, or an adult movie. I don't think I've ever seen this concept presented in a movie before. That's what Pixar excels at. They did it with Inside Out first, and I'm hoping that they do it with Soul. Inside Out's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Soul looks amazing.
Soul looks really amazing.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be the spiritual successor to Inside Out, which is one of my favorite films of all time. If you haven't seen it, you need to watch it. You need to watch it with your kids. It's great. So yeah, I quite enjoyed this movie. I didn't really get into the fantasy elements of it. I didn't really get into as much of the atmosphere in the world that they built, but it didn't even matter because the relationship is what's at the heart and the core of every Pixar film. Like, they won't make a movie without a good friendship or a good relationship at the core of it, and that's what matters when you go to see the Pixar movie. So this one succeeded. I teared up at it, so yeah, it was great.
Cool. So, high recommendation?
Oh yeah, go see it.
Okay.
It's for adults. I mean, this kids
No,
will like it.
it's for kids. It's for families.
Kids will like it, but this, I don't think
It's rated R and 17 and C-17.
No, that's not what I mean. It's not. It's
Sorry,
that's
I'm
not
just
what
messing
I said.
with you. It's for, just my head just went like,
No.
I just pictured like
I'm
Arnold
saying-
Schwarzenegger with guns like murdering unicorns.
What I'm
like,
saying
blood everywhere.
is that if you're an adult, don't write this movie off just because it has bright colors.
Okay, that
and
makes a little
music.
bit more sense.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You didn't let me finish.
I did it. Because I don't know why. I just pictured
I don't know why your head
Arnold
went to machine
Schwarzenegger
gun.
murdering unicorns with blood everywhere. That's where my head went when you said it's for.
That does not happen in this movie.
Oh.
Kids can watch it, of course. It's a Pixar movie. It's obviously meant for kids. But what I'm also saying, it's a given that it's for kids, but
Right.
it's also a movie for adults. Like,
Yeah.
we all liked it. So, well, maybe we didn't.
Well, I like animated movies in general. So, I
Me
mean,
too.
I can watch literally Trolls and get like perfect
Yeah.
enjoyment out of it. I've watched Despicable Me and I
hated
loved
Despicable
it.
Me. I hated
I love
Trolls.
So-
the first one.
You know what? I don't really remember the second one, but I really liked the third one, the third Despicable Me. I hated Minions though. I'll give you guys that.
Minions was terrible.
Yeah. But no, I shouldn't say hate. It was cute.
I hate the Minions. They're so annoying.
But
was fun,
anyways,
but-
yeah. I do think this. Okay. Before I start with my review, I gotta say I was giddy as you can be because when I first moved to America, one of the first TV shows I ever watched when I was young, and I wasn't allowed to watch it, but I snuck around, and when parents weren't around, I watched it, and they have this really cute Simpsons opening, and I forgot that 20th Century Fox
Oh, yeah, Simpsons.
was bought by Disney now, so they can do Simpson shorts, and my eyes lit up. Like,
Yeah.
to me, if I had to pay tickets just to see the stupid Simpsons intro, I could go home. Like, I'm good.
I already
like,
forgot it played in front of this movie.
because like I'm a huge Simpsons fan. Like,
It was funny. It was a good short.
No, it was a great short, and I think it's one of the best shorts they've ever done. So for me, it was like one of those moments where I was just so happy to see it, and then at the same time, like my excitement was way too high with The Simpsons that it dropped really low when
you
the movie
serious?
started. Yeah. But here's the saving grace. Though it started off really strange, and I like for the first half of this movie, I'm like, oh my god, this movie is annoying. Like, I didn't like the brother story. I thought the older brother was so annoying. I didn't like Tom Holland. He's like the shy kid, and I wasn't really feeling it. I don't know, just something about it just didn't hit in the first half of the
Yeah,
movie.
I would agree with that.
And I think most Pixar movies start out really high, and then they like kind of loosen up more in the middle and then end on a strong note. Well, this movie starts out really low, and I don't know if it's because like I was so giddy about The Simpsons being there or what. I think about 45 minutes. It took 45 minutes. Okay, there's a part in the trailer. They're at this like Chuck E. Cheese type of place, like, you know, this kid's place. If you saw the trailer, it's right after that scene did I finally start liking the movie.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And but then when it starts going, it
I
becomes
think
an
it's
adventure.
more like 20 minutes in, though. That happens pretty early.
I mean,
though.
I didn't like the little fairy dumpster fires that they were. I just found them super annoying. I forgot to mention, it was just like right after, like, after that. Like, there's a quickie mart, because I just saw The Simpsons. Like a 7-Eleven gas station store they were at. And then, like, is when I really started liking the movie because they were actually showing like character stuff. Like there was some really good backstory on both the brothers and like what their relationship to the dad is that I'm not gonna go into. That's when I was like, oh, like I'm in now. Like I'm in, like let's go. Like now it's a real adventure story, like you
It got
said.
better and better as it went. Yeah.
Yeah. So not a strong beginning, decent middle, and one of the things that Pixar excels at is closing the movie.
Yeah.
And this thing closes in a very emotional satisfaction. It's everything you want from these characters, and it surprises you. There's some spoilers that I didn't see coming, but it feels right. It feels appropriate to the story of like what's happening. I didn't feel it was like corny or like just out of place. It really felt like, ah, man, I really can't talk about the ending, but when you guys go see it, like the ending is very satisfying. And there's some really great stuff they do with the magic at the end of the movie, that I was just like eating it up. Like I thought the last 20 minutes is where the meat of this movie is. So just because of that, I'm gonna say like not a bad movie, but not a great movie either, but still a recommendation. On top of that, the other thing I really enjoyed about this movie was I grew up playing Magic the Gathering and read Lord of the Rings and all the Harry Potters, and I still read fantasy today. And our good friend Sean used to have Dungeons and Dragon nights once a month, and we had this big campaign going. If you don't know what Dungeons and Dragon is and you're going, what the heck is a campaign, don't worry about it. But if you do know what Dungeons and Dragon is, you're in for a really good treat, because this movie is literally like, I think they talked to the creators of Dungeons and Dragons to get
I believe so, or at least like some huge
Did they have
Dungeons and Dragons
real
group
stuff from the real game?
Yeah, and I can't talk about it, so I can't say it.
Okay.
All I'll say is, like, if you like fantasy, there's some nice throwbacks to even Lord of the Rings in this movie, like certain ways, like the adventure story. And yeah, like we'll save more. I do want to do a spoiler review, but I'm gonna say like good recommendation. Not my favorite Pixar movie. I personally like Toy Story 4 better. I liked his other movie, Monsters University, a little bit more, but I haven't seen Monsters. That's the director. He did 2 movies. He never did Monsters Inc. So I learned that he did Monsters University, and now this is his second film. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't say it's better than Monster University because I don't remember it. Anyways, the point is, I did like it. Not a high recommendation.
It's way better than Monsters U.
Yeah. But I personally really like Toy Story 4. That was my jam. That's the movie that made me cry. Woody's. I mean, I'm gonna do spoilers for Toy Story 4. So if you haven't seen it at this point, I don't know what to tell you. But like, I really felt the emotional feeling of like Woody realizing he's not going to be part of the gang anymore, and he has to separate himself and let those toys go and kind of go on this adventure with, what's her name?
Bo Peep.
Bo Peep, yeah. So he's staying back, he's leaving the gang, and he's staying with Bo Peep, and that just hit a note, like, personally, just because I grew up watching Toy Story. Like, that was like Woody's goodbye. I don't even know what they're gonna do with Toy Story 5, but I'd be very shocked if Woody shows up in Toy Story 5. But yeah, that's all I can say. Do you guys have anything else to add or want to talk about?
Really.
Let's get to the spoilers.
Okay, so yeah, this is going to be a separate video, but we're not. So this is just this. I'm stopping here now, but we're going to keep the recording going. So we'll see you guys later. Check out our spoiler review in the next few days. Go check out. What did we see? Onward. I always forget every movie that I say. Go check out Onward.
Go check out Onward and hit up our Patreon, our YouTube channel, our Facebook, our Twitter, and our website. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, share it with your friends. We'll see you in the next spoiler review.